Hello everyone, Railgan here again with another CVP. Today we're having a look at a game played by Cyryl. He's a guy that I coached once, so I figured why not have a look at this replay. And he just said, why did I lose Railgan? I struggle with CVP. First of all, if you're going to send me a replay, don't do that. Give me some detailed overview, like tell me what you did wrong, tell me what you did right. I want to know, I need your information. I want to know what you thought of the game, what actually happened. It doesn't really help me if you tell me, well, you know, we built charge shots and killed me. I need to know, why did you think the charge shots killed you? Did you think you made the wrong unit composition? Did you think your units were out of position? Did you not scout it in time? Was your reaction like completely wrong, or did you actually misinterpret what you scouted? Like, I need some sort of information on what you actually did, so I can properly assess your situation and actually figure out why you lost. Because else it's kind of hard for me. I can give you a lot of information, but if I don't know your thought process, it's not that helpful for you, I think. So anyways, we looked at the game a little bit out of his view. Our opponent is going for a Forge Gate Cybercore, interesting. You see additional queens not injecting the natural, sadly. Battle.net! Why you do this to me? He's droning up, nice. He has 2-base saturation at like 2-base saturation at 4 minutes. I think he could have a bit more drones. He's also mining a decent amount of gas. He's not injecting perfectly, but that's all okay. Keep in mind we are watching a platinum level game right here, and platinum level is always a little bit lower, so you're going to see some unrefined play, some high mineral count, some not so good gas timings and all that stuff, but he's droning up nicely. I think, yeah, it's behind like 10 drones maybe. That's okay. He's building spores right now. That makes sense. Let's quickly have a look at what he scouted. He saw... Oh my god. Oh my god. So he only saw a forge. Now, what he should do is always poke the front and see what units your opponent has. If you see a lot of sentries, chances are he's either going to go for a 2-base all-in, or he's a really bad player. Those are like the two options that you have. Because sentries are kind of hard to use aggressively. Like, it's better to attack you now with adepts, or with DTs, or with oracles, like some sort of harassment unit that does a lot of cheap damage. But if you build a lot of sentries and then you're not going to use them, it's very, very bad. So we see a warp prism filled with zealots. He's getting charged, so it's going for a charge shot timing. But he also built the sentries that he's not going to use, so this is a very unrefined build of our opponent. The Zerg player on the other end is going for the +1/+1. It's more of a CVT timing, but I'm not going to harp too much on it. If you want the +1/+1, that's okay. You should build units right now. You're building a lot of spines. You don't need that many spines, I think. The drop is a really nice thing. See, this gives him a lot of scouting information, and he's able to do a lot of economic damage as well. That's all you could ask for. He sees everything. Everything the Protoss has been scouted. And the spine crawlers are proving to be quite useful. I mean, he didn't know what he was up against, so building the spines blindly, I guess if you think you're ahead anyways and know your opponent doesn't have a third, I'm not sure if he actually knew. But I guess I'm going to assume that you knew that your opponent didn't have a third, and so figured, well, I guess I'm fine if I just build some safety spines in case I get all in. The problem is if you get attacked over here, then the spines down here are not going to be useful, and neither will the spore in the main. That's why you don't see them that commonly used. But it's okay, dude. So this is a very offensive morphing of the Banes. I know it's something that I do a lot as well, but be careful with that, because you can see the problem clearly. Against Stalkers, if you see a lot of Stalkers, always throw down the Hydra then and get the Lurkers. Lurkers are the counter to Stalkers because Stalkers are armored and take a lot of damage from them. And if your opponent doesn't have Immortals, you can't really deal with the Stalkers. So you threw away a lot of Banelings here. Let's check. Sadly I cannot see the exact count. Does the units lost tab not show the Banelings properly? Because I more than 2 Banelings died, right? Does it only show the Banelings that actually ended up? That's weird. Only the Banelings that end up killed actually show up in the units lost tab. That's a bug that should be fixed. So you're using Ravagers right now. Ravagers are good, they can be very useful. But as I said, like, the spines on here are not going to help you at all. You're spending your money decently. But the units lost tab really shows, right? You're just losing money after money and killing nothing at all. Yikes. Well, okay, so the game is obviously over. Your opponent went for a 2-base all-in and you lost, right? So you're going to be like, oh my god, I got 2-base all-in, died 3-base saturation. How do I beat this? Let's have a look at what you actually did with the money that you got, right? Because right now at this point of the game, you're in a really good spot. Counter drop is going to be really good as well. Like, this is all very good play. Then the Warp Prism in your third base gets shut down pretty easily by the spines and queens and lings here. That's all really good. You did a lot of damage. You could have done even more. You know your opponent is going for Stalker Sentry by now, so throw down the Hydra, then go for Lurkers immediately or Hydras. Don't go for many Roaches. Ravagers are going to be useful. You don't need Banelings against Stalkers. Against Charge Slots they would be good, but so you always want a couple, but you don't want Mass Bane. This is a very clear mistake that you're making here, because there is no point in morphing your Banelings in the middle of the map if your opponent is 2-base all-inning you. Play more defensive. Like, you lose a lot of resources here even though it doesn't show. Right? Let me check. Or does it? I don't know, dude. Do they count as links or what? Well, they just don't show up in the other tab, I guess. Okay, no, it's fine. They just don't show up in the units lost tab. And then the thing is, because you lost so many Banes, you're not really able to get out enough units. I think the unit composition that you're actually going for in Queen, Ling, Ravager kind of makes sense, but the problem is really that you lose so many units in the mid game for no reason. I mean, it's completely fine to take a 5th here, you have the macro hedge, you're injecting decently, like, everything is completely fine. Everything that you do is fine, the problem is just the way you execute it. Against Stalker, like, he's playing a pretty tight build, right? I mean, his economy isn't that good, you did a lot of damage, but he's still playing it really tight. He has a clear goal. You're kind of a bit floaty here, a little bit floaty. I would just spam like a round of Hydras, and then try to defend with some Ling, Ravager, Hydra play. Because right here you're throwing away a lot more units, right? These Lings are not killing anything. Then your Banelings don't kill anything. You just threw a lot of units at him, killing nothing at all. Like, his units lost up didn't even go up anyway, anything. You need to play, and here you throw more units. Like, you're just sending waves of small units at him instead of going for one big push and actually trying to defend. And then you're attacking him again, I think, and then you morph the Ravagers, and by the time your Ravagers are finished, all your units are dead, and now you could use Banes against the charge shots, but you don't have any Banes ready. So, opener and everything was fine, unit usage was not. Hope this helped you, dude. It's hard to analyze games like these, but I tried. So, see you tomorrow. Have a great eve or day or morning. Bye.